We're still in March of 2016 at the Yacht Club ghost hunting site. so, um, I was wandering around. This is after the ballroom, after the kitchen. Um, I didn't really know how to set up, so I wasn't involved in that aspect of it at that point. Um, my husband at the time was working on that, so I was wandering around. I went up the stairs, um, and I heard voices. So I followed the voices into what looked like a woman's restroom. Only the outer part of it had wicker furniture, and it was really a pretty setup where you could just sit down and relax and wind down or fix something or fix like a dress or something. It's called a retiring room, and it's just before the bathrooms and the sinks and stuff like that. When I walked in there, a fellow investigator was putting on makeup, and she was still upset. You could tell that she had been crying, and she was trying to fix it and cover it up. I didn't intrude. I just told her that there was a spirit trying to console her and telling her that it was going to be okay. The spirit had looked at me and was surprised that the other investigator couldn't see or hear or feel her. And I said, I'm really sorry that she didn't. And she says, well, that's okay. I think she felt that somebody was here with her anyway. Um, I never intruded with this investigator. I wasn't well liked by her. I kind of got the vibes that I gave her the heebie jeebies or something. Um, so when I run across people like that, it's kind of hard being a medium because you kind of feel how other people feel about you, and you're not really supposed to. They're supposed to be able to make an impression or something like that, but sometimes people just take an instant dislike for no apparent reason. Um, I think that whatever turmoil that she was going through, I don't think she understood that I didn't know exactly what that turmoil was, just that there was turmoil. Um, I always tried very hard to mind my own business. Um, there are some things I'm not supposed to know. If you don't tell me, I'm not supposed to know, or it gets me into trouble. So I try really hard not to intrude. And that's where the bubble comes in, where you just put this bubble around you so that other people's emotions don't overwhelm you. There's times when you're sick and stuff like that, being a medium, there is no control. Um, so it's really good that you have a good space to go to where you can wind down. But anyways, back to my spirit that's in the bathroom at this yacht club. She recognized me from my childhood, but it wasn't the ghost that I remember from my yacht club. This one, just because her dress was the same color, they were different lengths, they were different designs, so it's totally, completely different years. She said she knew that ghost, the one that I was referring to from the bathroom at my childhood yacht club. This lady, she said her name was Elizabethia, and she had a very French accent, and she told me to just call her Liz. And she said her story and why she was there is she found comfort in the retiring room when she was alive. Her husband would get drunk and become extremely flirtatious, and she would be embarrassed. So instead of sitting there and watching it and dealing with it, she went to the retiring room. And she would sit in chairs. She said they were similar to the wicker ones, but they were different because it was a different time period. So she would sit in there, and ladies would sit down and chat with her, and she would have fun. It was her go-to room. Like, well, you know what I mean. But it's where she was comfortable and able to have some fun until it was time to collect her husband and go back to the boat. She, it was interesting because Liz recognized me as a child. She said that I had come in there to use the bathroom and that I talked to her. And she said she'll never forget me because here was this little girl um, communicating with her as if I could see and hear her, which I could, but nobody else did. So that's why she said I really stuck in her memory. And um, I have one of those faces that I look very much like I did when I was a child. Um, it was interesting because I really didn't remember at all talking to her. And it's like, and when I thought about it later, I thought, well, is she that ghost? So the next time I went, I asked her if she was the same one that was at my yacht club. And but no, she wasn't. And that's okay. It was a very interesting day that first day investigating without a public. So I was looking so forward to the public hunt. I couldn't wait until we got to see what that was like because I'd never been on one of those either. My husband at the time was just starting to accept, or so he said, accept the abilities that I have. But nobody really wanted to hear these stories, so I'm very glad I can share them now because these are my stories and my experiences with the abilities that I have. And I hope that by telling people what I went through and how I felt and how at this time I was just so desperate to prove myself as a good medium. I had a lot of growing up to do. Even if I was 40 years old at the time. It's never, ever too late to learn and grow. So, after I had left that bathroom, we had gone down the hall. There was what used to be like sailors' rooms or bunk beds. And this back section is where the Commodore's office used to be. And the Commodore of this particular one, there was one that was very mean, I guess. I didn't get to meet him, but the first time I went back there, I smelled tobacco, like smoking pipe tobacco. This time, when I went back there, I was smelling a floral scent, really, really strong. And I brought that up to the other people. I'm like, well, do you smell flowers? There's like a really strong flower smell. And it turned out somebody had used scented soap in the ladies' room. And so they said that it was totally debunked because, you know, you're not supposed to use strong scents or perfumes or anything like that when you're ghost hunting. And that's one of the reasons why. Because a lot of times the smell can bring you to a spirit that is in that area, and so then that can also tell you to try to investigate there, try to get an EVP, a voice on the recorder. You can try to get them to start talking to the flashlights, turning them off and on, getting the K2 meter to go off. Those are just like little hints that would make you start doing that. And that one turned out to be debunked. That word, debunked. I totally, as a medium, hate that word. But anyway, we are heading towards the attic. And the attic at this yacht club is the main event. So I hope you watch the next video. Thanks, and have yourself an awesome day.